Hi, I do apologize for not using Canvas Studio. My dogs are screaming at home, and I thought ICC would be the best place where I could actually focus on the material and think about it in peace and quiet. So I do apologize that this isn't on Canvas Studio. Also, I know this is over chapters 5 and 7, but I really wanted to talk about chapter 7 because it was the one that I got the most out of. So I just really wanted to dive into chapter 7 itself because here at ICC we have a lot of meetings. I thought it was really interesting. Um, the average American goes to 62 meetings a month. I'm not full time, so it's definitely less because I'm part time, but there's a lot of meetings, and I thought it was really good about talking about unproductive meetings because we've all seen the meme that's like on a mug that's like attended another meeting that could have been in an email. And I think that's honestly just true everywhere. Like, there are so many meetings I go to, even one-on-one, like check-ins with like my bosses, that I'm like, okay, why are we meeting? Like, what's the purpose of this? Because like I don't have anything to talk about, especially weekly meetings, because sometimes I will have a meeting on Thursday and then be off Monday, then be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then have another meeting about how my week went on Tuesday when I haven't been working. So I'm like, yeah, I had a good weekend. Um, so I thought that was just interesting that everywhere has a lot of meetings in professional spaces, and I know in counseling I'm hoping it's better because I want to do private practice, so I'm kind of like my own boss. But meetings are kind of, in my opinion, a necessary evil. Um, I know they do serve a lot of purpose when you're doing productive meetings, but I feel like most meetings could really be shortened or put into an email. And I know there is that face-to-face communication that's very important, but um, I love the idea that chapter 7 in of having no meeting days each week because honestly, sometimes meeting days just nothing gets done. And it's not, I'm not being mean about it. It's just like our time and energy could have been spent in some ways that are more productive. Or even just coming in and being like, this is what I have to do. This is what I need to communicate for my meeting. Point one, point two, point three, point four. You know, um, written input is also a really good factor that I thought was really important here. We have in our counseling department, we have it's mainly for our clients, but it's also for our staff. That's a little it's like this big. It's a suggestion box, and it's basically a suggestion about your questions, comments, concerns anonymously about basically anything. So a lot of my coworkers like to utilize that, and I think it's a really good way of getting feedback without being confrontational, because no one knows who wrote it. So I think that's a really cool component of it. I also think just being honest about meetings. We have a couple things at work that nobody likes to do, including me. And honestly, once we were honest about communicating what parts of the job we do and don't like, everything seemed to be smoother because now we realize, hey, it's not just you that hates this thing, we hate this thing too, which has really helped. Um, Also, social functions I think are super important, like holiday parties, um, Easter parties, birthday parties. Like we have a couple people here at ICC who are really sweet and go out of their way to remember people's birthdays, which I think is just the cutest thing ever. Honestly, I haven't been in a workplace that's done that other places, so I think it's really cute. It also just kind of shows like what you mean to people and that people remember things about you. That's just cute to me and sweet. Social functions are also important too, like for our Christmas party, we were building this gingerbread house, and it really just helped us kind of learn our communication styles, because you know, you don't really like sit down and meet with your coworkers and be like, so what's your communication style? I mean, maybe you should, but it's a very hard thing to like slide into a conversation. So kind of just working on little tiny projects like building a gingerbread house is I think it's really important, because like I didn't know I was a direct person. Like I feel like I go away. I communicate things in an indirect way, but I've learned at work I'm a very direct person, in a way that's helpful and constructive, not in like a mean way, you know what I mean? But it's really helped me learn that, because I'm like, oh, maybe this is coming off too blunt before I say something, and obviously you don't want to make your coworkers upset, so I think that's a really good component of it. I think enrichment meetings are really cool too, like those little icebreaker things. And I think meetings too can help with problem solving for sure, because sometimes at the end of the day, you do just need that face-to-face connection to be honest with people. Like when I'm emailing people, like I genuinely in my head, they're just like their little email logo to me. Like I can't envision like speaking to them in person. So I think it's really good for me to like, I like to read people's faces and their tone of voice, and things like that, like those nonverbal cues that just kind of like tells me like how they're feeling. Like sometimes when I talk to my coworker, I'm like, oh, they're having a bad day. I should be a little bit nicer to them today. Not that I'm mean to them, but a little bit nicer. And I think that's really important. And doing the team building activities, like the ICC loves the bingo icebreakers, which I actually kind of like too, because it's like, oh, I didn't know you're double jointed. Like, fun fact, I'm double jointed. One of those was on a bingo card, and I thought it was interesting and cool. And I think those are, sometimes they're a necessary evil, but they are important, and they do serve a purpose. And I think going through the textbook really just helped me realize that they are important, and sometimes stuff doesn't get done, and there are things you can do about that. I really liked no meeting days. I like the alternatives, and I honestly, it's overrated, but sometimes like just being honest is super important. Just saying, hey, like I don't like this, could we do this? Like, and most of the time people are willing to work with you. So I think it's just, I mean, I can't say enough how important communication is at work, especially during meetings. So I think this is kind of gave me new structure to it, and just kind of retaught me the importance of meetings, because when you work and you go to a lot of meetings, you're like, oh, I have to go to another meeting. So yeah, this was chapter 7. I did read chapter 5, but this is mainly what I gained from it is in chapter 7. So yeah, thanks for